That dog switched. Something switched in his eyes. You can see it in the eyes. Big cats are the same way. If you're ever working with a big cat and they look up at you, you'll see their eyes completely change. They're about to attack. Dogs are less in the eyes, but it's there in the eyes. They go somewhere else. So I got a question on YouTube from Gideon about dogs turning on their owners, okay? Bad, in a bad way. All right. He says, hey Joel, please, can you do a video on what causes a dog to turn on his or her owner? I know it isn't as simple as breed. I looked through your videos and I couldn't find anything, so I don't know if you've talked about it already. And when I look it up on YouTube, all I see is a bunch of videos of dogs getting mauled or shot. Mauled or shot. All right. So I thought about this. The only times I've ever seen dogs turn on the owners is for 3 reasons. So first, let's talk about what isn't turning on the owner. What isn't turning on the owner is a young dog being crazy and nipping and jumping and mouthing. And I'll have clients come out here, especially when they're older and thin, their skin gets a little thinner. They'll have cuts and horrible scratches all over them. That's from crazy puppy teeth. I think we all know that's not turning on their owner. Okay, here's another thing that isn't turning on their owner. The biggest video I've ever had is a Malamute. It's a dominance video. It probably has 800,000 views at this point. And the dog, as the owner's leaving for the board and train, I'm sitting in this chair and I'm watching, and the dog is lunging. This is a 100-pound Malamute, lunging at the owner. And the owner's pushing him off, and he's lunging and he's pushing him off, and he's lunging and he's pushing him off. And then I did a dominance video with that dog. That still isn't turning on its owner. That is maybe dominance coupled with, I know you're gonna leave. When a dog turns, when a dog attacks, they sink their canines in, okay? Dogs bite unbelievably hard. When you really get bit by a dog, you know it. The canines sink in, and if the dog really wants to do damage, the canines sink in and then they shake their whole body. All right, that's turning. So that's why people will come out here and they'll say, my dog bit my other dog, or my dog bit me, or my dog bit my kid. And I will always ask, did you go to the doctor or did the dog go to the vet? Why do I ask that? Because there's a difference there. I've seen dog fights where a dog looks like it's mauling another dog and the other dog comes out completely unscathed. Well, the dog wasn't trying to hurt the dog. When they're trying to hurt the dog, they sink canines into the dog, generally speaking. So the sinking of canines is the difference. That is a turn that is intent to do serious damage. All right, so that's why I ask if they went to the doctor or went to the vet, or if you should have gone to the doctor. Sometimes people won't, but they should have. That's the dog trying to hurt you. All right, here's the 3 ways a dog can turn on its owner. 1 is common, the other 2 are very, very uncommon, okay? The first one, turning on its owner, is redirected aggression during walks, generally, or at fences. That is a turn. The dog is attacking the owner's leg. It is a big deal. It is not as big of a deal as the other 2. And it's frustration and it's redirection, okay? And how you deal with that is you don't let them get that frustrated. I know it's easier said than done. A dog has never redirected on me on a walk. Thousands of dogs, thousands of leash reactive dogs, they have never turned and attacked my leg, even the dogs that come out here for that. You know why? Because my doorway method. Because my walk out to the street, and the dog goes, oh my God, I'm so excited. And I go, okay, we're going back into the property, or you're going back into the house. Okay, I'm calm. Okay, get a little more in the street. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, we're going back. They don't ever build up to that point where redirection on your leg is almost even possible. It's never happened to me because of the method, okay? So they're out of their minds at that moment. Luckily, they come down, right, usually. The other way is to hold them. I mean, it's hard, especially with a big dog, is you hold them far enough away where they attack your leg and you do this. But you can only do that with a small dog, really, okay? All right, so that is number 1. That is the most common turn on their owner, okay? And some of us would say, yeah, it's not really turning on your owner, but technically it is. I mean, they'll sink their canines in sometimes, and they're out of their minds. They're not in a normal state of mind, okay? And we have to understand that, all right? So I told you how to deal with it, and that is right on the line of turning on the owner, but I think it technically is turning on their owner. It is. It truly is. All right. The other way is a mental illness. I've seen this. I saw this 6 months ago. I didn't have a filmer here. This lady showed up because she says, my dog. You ever seen that video of that lady on a bed and that pit bull's growling in her face? I think everybody's seen that. That is a mentally ill dog. Something switched. There's mental illness in dogs. There's mental illness in people. There's bipolar. There's schizophrenia. There's all these things. Dogs have it. That, I believe, is a mentally ill dog. I don't know the backstory there. That's what happened to this dog that came out. So the lady comes out. She tells me how her dog does this. I don't see it. Dog seems fine. Dog meets my dog. Dog seems all right. We go down to my office where you see me film sometimes, right, with the killer whale picture in the back. We're sitting there and we're talking, and the dog's being pretty good, but we got to talk through this. I then get up. I take a step kind of around the dog. I don't touch the dog, and the dog loses its mind, and it tries to attack me. I think it was on a leash, or maybe it was in a muzzle at that point, and you could see it in his eyes. The dog went somewhere else for no reason. Then, and I'm like, holy mackerel, that was insane. Then we go up to the car. He calmed down. We put him in the car. She's about to get in, and he attacks her at the window. It was the craziest dog switch I've ever seen, by far, because mental illness is not that common. Dog switched. I said, ma'am, I said, you have to take this dog to a vet immediately. This is super dangerous for you. You have to take him to the vet, sedate this dog. You need vet care right now. She left. She went to a vet. That dog switched. Something switched in his eyes. You can see it in the eyes. Big cats are the same way. If you're ever working with a big cat and they look up at you, you'll see their eyes completely change. They're about to attack. Dogs are less in the eyes, but it's there in the eyes. They go somewhere else, okay? So that would be mental illness, schizophrenia, bipolar. That would be the other way. And the last way is pain or injury. So people come out and they say, my kid was going up to my dog to pet it, and my dog lunged at my kid. Okay? Now, by the way, none of this is really normal behavior. Your dog biting you should absolutely never happen on a walk towards kids. Like, none of this should ever, it's serious business. All three of these forms of turning on the owner, okay, is injury. I've seen dogs, they have ear infections. They know the kid's gonna come up and go like this on their head. How about a dog with some sort of back injury or leg injury? I know I mentioned kids a lot because dogs interpret kids and puppies as haphazard. So kids will fall. When my kids were 4, and I have a 5-year-old now, but my 11-year-old boy would fall a lot. And dogs know that. They are like, this kid's gonna possibly fall on me with 40 pounds. I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm gonna proactively say, get out of here. Never happened to my kid, but they know puppies and kids fall and jump and lunge and have no boundaries for space, so they proactively say, get out of here. So injury, ear infections. How about tooth pain? How about back injuries? How about if you go up to your dog and they're hurting, but you're gonna pick them up? How about, okay, this is on the injury front. Southern California, everyone brings their dog to restaurants and bars. And I would be walking my little kids through a restaurant, and there's a dog just laying in the middle of the walkway. And I'm thinking to myself, your dog better be able to have a child fall on them while they'll be sleeping there and not turn and bite the kid. Because kids fall all the time. So people bring their dogs to restaurants and they just let their dog lay there. Kids fall. So of course, I don't know. So I'm like, okay, dog's in the walkway, but we've got to pick the kid up and avoid the dog. It's silly, but dogs will bite when they're fell on or So you got to be careful of injury. So take the dog to the vet. If it's looks like it's, and it might do it from far away. As you approach, it growls at you. It's like, no, it's like, get away from me, even though you're 10 feet away. So a vet visit is very important for bodily pain. Okay? So that is my answer to that gentleman about turning on their owners. I thought about this for like 10 minutes before this video. If you know another situation besides mental problems, besides physical pain, and besides redirection during a heightened state where they're out of their minds for a brief period of time, let me know on turning on their owners. Okay? That's the only situations I can think of. I have experienced 2 of them. I have never, dogs do it to other dogs in my pasture, right? My pasture is like a dog park. They go nuts down there. I've got a video of it. Bosco and that Doberman, I posted a long time ago. Bosco's a Doberman, black Doberman. Bosco plays rough. He kind of nips the dog. She falls. You hear her yelp. She gets up. He runs up. They darn near get in a gnarly 80-pound Doberman fight because she was hurt. Now, that's a dog to dog. We're talking dog to people, but injury can make a dog angry. Pain can make a dog angry, which makes sense. I see it down there fairly often. Dog runs and kind of hits another dog. This dog turns around ready to fight. Right? That same thing can happen with people when they're hurt. Okay? They're ready to fight. All right, so if you know of another time, and there's breed stuff too. All right, there's something, I had a Cocker Spaniel years ago that was just like doing something to his owners, and they mentioned like Cocker Rage Syndrome or Spaniel Rage Syndrome. I looked it up. I don't think it's proven. I found some stuff on it, but there does seem to be some breed stuff out there, some poor breeding lines, poor breeding that's happening. But they're breeding mental illness into a breed is what they're doing. So that falls under kind of mental illness thing. So if there's another one, I want to hear about it. Okay? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and comment.